What is up, Packers fans, and welcome back to another episode of Packer Report TV. I am your host and the publisher of Packer Report, Ross Uglum, and joining me today is Mr. Dusty Evely of Acme Packing Company, rocking the Acme Packers hat. I love it.
That's right. I don't break this out too often, man, but this is one I've had for a while. One of my favorites. So I felt that got Tigers hoodie on today. They're playing later this afternoon for the first time in 10 years in the playoffs. I wanted to match the color a little bit.
Love that. Love that. I don't specifically love that. As a Minnesota Twins fan
Yes,
who
I
witnessed that
apologize.
collapse, that was something. But this is neither of those podcasts. So we will dive into the film of Green Bay's loss by 2 points to the Minnesota Vikings. Um, I guess general takeaways is just super frustrating. I think, you know, this seems like a weird thing to say, but I feel like if they would have started that game over immediately after it ended, Green Bay wins.
Yeah.
Like it just so many things went wrong. Love was so unsettled, and then once he got settled, and I was like, "Oh, they were playing prevent defense." The hell they were.
Oh, I wrote about this. I don't think it's up yet. I wrote about this Acme Packing Company today. I was like, if anyone tries to tell you the Vikings are playing prevent defense, first of all, Brian Flores doesn't know what that is. But I'm
Not
watching
familiar.
plays midway through the fourth. He's got
He's
8
running
guys at the
zero.
line. Yeah, there's nothing prevent about this defense.
And I think he just has simply too much pride to just do it. Like I don't. Anyway, um, but yeah, I guess the one that I want to break down finally some defensive film. I like, some of the things you can do when you're undermanned. The Xavier McKinney pick that probably wasn't, but I guess was. You you're at Q3, 10-24. I mean, 28-7. Minnesota comes in and scores here. It's over, like over. You get down 4 touchdowns. You don't maybe have 5 possessions left. You'd have to get stop immediately on all their possessions. Like it gets ugly here. And you could see, if you're on the sideline view, folks, here, second one, Green Bay is given a really strong cover 4 look here. They're playing nickel, Nixon in the slot, Ballantyne down low, and Stokes at the top of the screen. This is split safety. I would say basically it's split safety until Darnold calls for the ball. So his entire pre-snap picture is either 2 or 4. Absolutely. And immediately then at the snap, McDuffie busts his ass to the flat and is replaced by Xavier McKinney. And I don't think Darnold ever really sees that. You can see Darnold's head, and it's I think a half field read for him, because I don't ever see his head move. And what I mean by half field read is he is looking for Aaron Jones on a corner, on a deep corner. And what they think they've done here to this quarter's look is they think they've probably occupied the flat defender in McDuffie with the out by Munt. They think the high side defender is going with the go ball, or sort of the skinny post, whatever you want to call it, by Addison. I guess it turns into sort of a post corner. He knows he's not getting the ball. That's a very lazy route by Addison. That's the kind of route you run when you know the play isn't for you. The problem is, though, is that it's not quarters. It's not. It's it's cover 3, and Xavier McKinney is right there, cuts in right in front of Aaron Jones and makes the pick. And these are the kind of things. And this is nothing super special. This is just cover 3 that's designed as with it shown as cover 4. Teams run this 100 times a day. There's nothing special about it. But when you have kind of a YOLO guy like Sam Darnold, and look, Sam Darnold's playing some of the best football of his career, but when you have a YOLO guy like Sam Darnold, some of these sort of simple disguises, when you're trying to do cool things like throw Aaron Jones a touchdown in the front corner of an end zone, they can get you, because I can tell you right now, Sam Darnold never expected Xavier McKinney to be there.
No, that last point. I mean, all of the points are very good, Ross, but the last point's exactly it. I mean, that was you're high-lowing him. You think you got him. You got to fit that ball over McKinney, basically. And McKinney's falling back, to his credit. That's got to be a good ball. That's a good ball. He just doesn't see the rotation of McKinney coming down on that, or just thinks he can get him anyway. I think he just never sees him. I think I got to fit this over McDuffie. That's one of those. That's a very good call. The perfect defensive call, and then a defensive player making a nice play. And like you said, listen, and be honest with myself, it's probably not a pick. That certainly looked like on the replay that hit the ground, but Packers had a couple catches taken away from him that I think were bad calls as well. So all this stuff evens out eventually. So that's kind of where I sit with that. But a really, really nice call and a great play by McKinney to track that down.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the recap show. Like I think people can get as frustrated as they want about some of the things that happened in that game and the interception off of 2 Packers players and a couple missed calls by the officials and this and that. It's like, guys, Xavier McKinney might not have caught that pick. That muff punt was a miracle. I mean, a miracle. Like it all evens out, right? It all evens out. So that's kind of my take. Dusty, what play do you have, sir?
I've got, speaking of the muff punt, this is the play directly after the muff punt. So if you're looking at this is first and goal, the Vikings 3. There's 39 seconds left in the second quarter. Packers come out in 11 personnel. So you've got kind of a tight look. It's Love and shotgun. You've got Jacobs to his right. On the right side, you've got, I believe that is Tucker Kraft in line. Then you've got Wicks and Dobbs in a stack, like right next to Kraft. And then on the left, you got Reed by himself. Dobbs goes in motion pre-snap, a little jet motion. They snap it to him as soon as he clears a tackle, and it looks for all the world. It looks like I believe the Packers call this concept pile. They've scored touchdowns on this before, where it's like a speed release to the flat from Dobbs off the motion, and then you've got kind of an inside push from Reed from the outside, who then kind of curls back over the top. So it basically plays out like a flat corner, but in the confines of the low red zone. They've done this a bunch. They've had good success with this. Except Dobbs then turns into a I don't know, jerk route, juke route, whatever. So instead of you've got this, he releases, looks like he's going the flat, turns his back to kind of basically like just wall off the defender, then comes back in and Love hits him in time. Now this ended up not being called a touchdown because he double catches it. It initially looks like a touchdown, gets into the body, ball bounces off his chest plate. By the time he recovers it, he's outside the 1. Then LaFleur screams at an official because they looked away from him while he was calling a timeout, and they scored a touchdown on the next play anyway. But I really like this play specifically because it is something I've seen them run in the past with that kind of speed release to the flat. It is something they've scored touchdowns on. It is something other teams have seen from them as well. And then you get Dobbs. This is something I was going to write about. I have not felt like doing it yet. This whole like juke route thing, right? Where like you go out and it's almost like an extreme pivot. You're cutting out, turn your back and come back, or you kind of like a double move as you're kind of sitting there facing the quarterback. That's not something they ever ran with Rodgers. I don't know if Rodgers hated this stuff or what. That was one of those you see other teams do it and you say, man, that's a really cool route. I really like that route. They never ever ran it. They still run it sparingly, but they run it a little more than they did under Rodgers, and they ran it here. And I think it's really nice, really good route by Dobbs. I wish he caught the ball clean. Good route by Dobbs, and also like that's one where again playing off tendencies. I think it was a really really cool look there to get what should have been a touchdown on that play.
Totally agree. Yeah, should have been. Wish he would have caught the ball clean was the story of the day. Dude. Yeah. Dobbs was fighting the ball. Wicks was fighting the ball. Everybody that wasn't Jaden Reed was fighting the ball. Tucker Kraft couldn't hold on to the ball. I mean, it was a ball kind of day, man.
It was a rough day. Yeah, even the first Wicks touchdown, he like basically body caught and then curled his body around it to make sure he didn't drop it. Like, yeah, it was rough, dude.
And you could tell Love was just like, here, you are so wide open. Here is the ball.
Please just bring it in, sir. Just bring it in.
I'm not worried about him long term. Everybody said he's going full Devontae, like a lot of promise, and then drops in year 2, and then year 3 he'll be the best receiver in the league, which I'm fine with, by the way. That would be
if that's a development curve. Yeah, the development curve is Devontae. He's getting open. They're targeting him. Like, what did he get? 13 targets or something on the day? Like, now, like
58 dropbacks.
It's a whole lot of pass attempts, man. But he's getting open. He's just, I mean, he will catch the ball. I did have issues with his hands, but he will catch the ball eventually. He's getting open in the throwing to him. That's all you can ask.
Any other big takes from this one, Dusty? I think this will be a shorter show just because they lost and it was sad.
Well, and they
But
got
any
behind.
other takes? I
Well, they
know.
got
Yeah.
behind so much. That's the thing. Like you're looking at this game and like, okay, what play do I want to look at? They ran, dude. They ran like that middle read dagger that they love, which is like that, the vertical route, and then you read the safeties, and the vertical route either breaks in or takes or puts the safeties, and then a big dig behind it. They ran that like 11 or 12 times. Like they got to a point, they were down 28-0. They're like, we've got 5 passing plays we want to run. So it's one of those. It's tough to take a ton away from what they did just because the plan became so simplified after they're down by so much. Like, here are the things we think will work. We're just going to spam these things. We're going to make it easy for the team. So, no huge takeaways, like you said. Like I was encouraged as it went on to hit that point again. If you hear anyone telling you that they came back because the Vikings were in prevent, no, they weren't. And if they were in prevent, they got there from like dropping dudes off an 8-man front. So it doesn't truly count.
Yeah. You're going to play quarters when you have 11 guys on the line. It's not really quarters.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. So yeah, it's tough to get too many takeaways. I'm not, like we talked about, I'm not discouraged going forward. I think this was I went from being this is going to be a nightmare game, but towards the end of the first half to like by the second half, like they feel like they found their groove. I think they will be fine. It's just a tough first half here.
Tough first half, and tough to check a box in the loss column at home to a team like that. I mean, you want to win your home games. You definitely want to win your division home games. You don't want that check mark like we lost this game, because you could go back at this one in week 14 and be like, damn it. You know what I mean? So anyway, all right, guys, that's it for our show today. Check out the link. I've got my homage hoodie on. Dusty, is that a homage Tigers lightweight hoodie?
Buddy, this sure is. This sure is.
All right, link in the description for either the video or the podcast. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go.